was a time when Tom Brady was only known because of his siblings and not as a famous quarterback. Yeah.
What do you think makes a good ball player?
I don't know.
You don't know?
His sisters used to be quite popular. What were they popular for? Do you think it has anything to do with football? Well, stick around as we find out everything about his family. Let's actually start with his grandfather. In the early 90s, Tom Brady's family vacationed every summer in rural Minnesota, where his grandfather Gordon Johnson had worked as a barber before saving enough to start a small dairy farm. Tom's relatives still recall many fond memories on the farm with him. Tom is still quite close to many of his relatives in California and Minnesota, and he has even invited them to lots of his Super Bowl appearances. That just goes to show that he values his family over anything. In 2016, when Tom's grandfather died at age 97, he read a passage at the funeral in St. Joseph's Catholic Church in Clarissa, Minnesota, a farm town of about 600 people. After that, he hosted some of his Minnesotan relatives in a 5-star hotel in Boston and invited them to a Patriots game afterward. Did you know that Tom's father once served in the Marines? Tom Brady Sr. was born during World War II, and the conflict had an impact on his family. Just 3 years before Tom Brady Sr. was born, Michael Buckley Jr., his uncle, was taken prisoner by the Nazis. Brady Sr. later grew up and studied for almost 7 years before entering the Maryknoll priesthood. Then he decided to take a different path and joined the Marines, only to be released from service during the Vietnam War due to a knee injury. Out from the war and back in San Francisco, Brady Sr. found himself selling insurance when he met Galen Johnson, a TWA flight attendant. She was about 2 months younger than him and was born on the 4th of July, 1944, in tiny Browerville, Minnesota. She is a descendant of Swedes, Norwegians, and Germans who immigrated to the United States in the 1850s and 1860s. In 1969, Galen Johnson and Tom Brady got married and moved to the San Mateo neighborhood of San Francisco. Before Tom Brady, their only son, was born on August 3rd, 1977. Their son, of course, would turn out to be one of the biggest sports stars in the world, and they were just full of support the whole time. Brady Sr. encouraged his son to be competitive growing up. In an interview, he said that his son's drive was his fault because everything he and his son did growing up was a competition, down to things like running home from church and throwing a rock the farthest. According to him, it just always made things fun for the winner. Tom Brady recently stated that his father was the most loving, caring, and honest man in the world. Without his dad, he wouldn't be in the position he's in, and now he hopes to have the same impact on his own kids.
I think my dad is my hero because he's someone that I look up to every day.
Tom Brady Sr. and his wife continue to reside in San Mateo, California, the place where they raised their children. Tom's mother, Galen Brady, has equally been instrumental in advancing her son's career. She was the one who encouraged him as a child to participate in sports in the first place. Galen also supported him throughout his career, however, it came with its own share of ups and downs. Back in 2016, Galen was diagnosed with an aggressive type of breast cancer. She had to undergo radiation and chemotherapy for 5 months. During that period, she could not attend any of Tom's games because of the treatment. Fortunately for the Brady family, after Tom's incredible comeback win at Super Bowl 51, doctors announced that she was completely cancer-free and would be allowed to attend her son's games again. Now, you probably don't know this, but as a kid, Tom Brady's athletic prowess was never in doubt, considering the fact that all 3 of his sisters, Maureen, Julie, and Nancy, became collegiate athletes. Growing up, Tom's sisters, especially Maureen, sort of took center stage as to who the athlete in the family was. Tom eventually became motivated to keep up with his siblings, who were constantly the talk of the town as a result of this. At age 5, Tom had a strong determination to live up to the family name, even if it meant not being mentioned in the same sentence as his sisters. He used to sit in the stands and watch Maureen and his other sisters play, and his sisters repaid their brother's loyalty by watching each of his basketball and baseball games, and even his football games that he played. Tommy used to be referred to as Maureen Brady's little brother constantly back then. Maureen Brady herself is mostly known as a former collegiate softball player, a high school instructor, and a nurse. But what isn't well known by many is that, as Tom was growing up, he was athletically in the shadow of Maureen, his sister, as we've mentioned. As a kid and a teenager, Maureen was the one in the Brady family who set all kinds of records as a pitcher in high school, and she would go on to become an All-American at Fresno State University in California. Now, everyone agrees that Tom was not the best athlete in his family when it came to high school sports. In fact, in high school and even college, of course, Maureen was a dominant softball pitcher. Even Tom admits that Maureen was their family's top athlete. He has also admitted in the past that Maureen was a great competitor and had much toughness, and till this day, Tom still speaks very highly of his sister. Despite his 6 championships, the 6'4" quarterback still thinks his sister is the best athlete his family has ever seen. In a similar vein, Maureen has had many stories about her dominance game after game. Maureen Brady set the bar high for softball pitchers in San Mateo County, and on June 9th, 1999, she was officially inducted into the San Mateo County Sports Hall of Fame. While attending Hillsdale High School, Maureen also played for the American Junior Olympic team. She later returned to Hillsdale High in 2009 to coach the Knights softball team for 3 years. She was also a standout pitcher in college, as we've mentioned, at Fresno State University, playing there on a collegiate scholarship for the Bulldogs softball team. Maureen ranks 9th in Fresno State history with 80 career wins, and in 1994, she was an All-American pitcher. She participated twice in the NCAA National Tournament while still a student athlete. With 36 victories in her junior season, Maureen led the Bulldogs nationally. In her junior year, while competing in the Nationals, she pitched 321 innings. The oldest of 4 siblings was named FSU's Athlete of the Year in her last season of attendance. With 748.2 career innings pitched, Maureen had an 80-31 career record. She was a member of the Western Athletic Conference All-Conference team while at Fresno State. She also ranks in many categories at top 10 in season career pitching leaders for FSU. It appears Maureen now works as a registered nurse and teaches softball in Bakersfield, California. She dedicated herself entirely to nursing after college, and now she's employed at a local hospital in Bakersfield. She also oversees the athletic careers of her daughters in the meantime. Maureen's daughter Maya is the second best 2019 high school softball recruit in Softball America. At UCLA, she began her own legacy in 2020. Maya Brady is significantly influenced by Maureen and her brother Tom. Because Maureen already knew a lot of champions, she was the one who encouraged Maya to pursue sports though. Tom's other sister Nancy also played collegiate softball, and much like Maureen and her other sister Julie, played soccer in high school. Nancy Brady was also a softball player and basketball player in her teenage days in high school. Unlike her brother Tom, she chose a completely different career path, and she excelled as a public health professional working with different reputable organizations, and much like Maureen. She has over 20 years of experience in the healthcare industry, working in both the public and private sectors. She also has expertise in business development, sales and marketing, strategic communications, advocacy and policy, operations, and human resources. Quite the accomplished woman. In addition, Nancy has previously described herself as an adventurer, a world traveler, and someone who enjoys music, exercise, family, and friends. She is currently involved with multiple companies providing support for healthcare improvement in Africa. According to Nancy, her brother has always supported her in the same way that she has supported him. Julie Brady was born on August 3, 1974, and she is actually the wife of former Boston Red Sox baseball player Kevin Youkilis. And of course, she is the younger sister to Tom Brady. Although Julie Brady had the potential to be successful in sports as well, she also chose a different line of work. Nevertheless, she still supports her brother and occasionally goes to his games. It's interesting to note that despite being 3 years apart, Julie and Tom Brady were born on the exact same day, which is why sometimes they are frequently mistaken for twins. Julie was raised in Northern California with her siblings, and she attended St. Mary's College. There she played basketball, soccer, and softball. But despite not pursuing a career in the sports industry, she still maintained her enthusiasm for fitness. Julie claimed that she and her siblings were naturally athletic from a young age, despite their parents' attempts to steer them in the direction of more artistic endeavors like music and dance. She once worked as a special education teacher, and after she left there, she decided to dedicate her efforts to being a full-time mom and helping charities in her free time. Her husband Kevin also owns a charity called Yuke's Kids. The organization's main focus is on providing aid aid to kids impacted by Hurricane Sandy and the bombings of the Boston Marathon. She enthusiastically praised his dedication to assisting underserved areas when she assisted him in planning an event for Yuke's kids in June 2013. Julie is now a mother of 3 kids, one she gave birth to earlier and the other 2 with Kevin Youkilis. Tom Brady might now be the single most impactful player in NFL history over the last 20 years for sure. However, he didn't get there all alone. His sisters in particular had a significant influence on his life, and without them, he might not have made it all the way to the top. His sisters acted as a safety net for him when he first started playing football at Junipero Serra High School, shielding him from the disappointment of losing. Julie and her sisters have admitted that they would always be there for Tom no matter what he needs, including his sons or wife. There is also a special cousin that Tom always speaks highly of because of their support that they give them. According to Paul, whether it was football or baseball, Tom always threw a ball around. He described Tom as a determined kid growing up. Paul had the opportunity to demonstrate small-town farm life during Tom and his sister's summer visits from California. He claimed that he had always believed in Tom and knew he was going to be a star. Paul was always seen in the stands supporting Tom and cheering him on. Speaking about support, Brady's ex-wife has been a strong support system for the legend, but now it appears there has been recently some trouble in paradise. We'll get into that momentarily, but let's find out about their relationship and how it all began. Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen met on a blind date arranged by some friends, and they hit it off right away. He reflected on that crucial first encounter and how much it affected him in an interview for the Wall Street Journal. According to Tom, the one phone call that changed his life was when his friend Ed called him to tell him about Gisele, and she would end up being the love of his life. On January 14, 2007, rumors started circulating that Tom and Gisele were an item when she was spotted waiting for him outside the New England Patriots locker room. And in late January of that year, reports confirmed that Tom and the Victoria's Secret Angel had started dating right before Christmas. However, in February 2007, Tom and Gisele's new relationship hit a rough patch when Bridget Moynihan, Tom's ex, revealed that she was 3 months pregnant with his child, a child she would later give birth to on August 22nd of the same year. Gisele later revealed years later that she considered leaving him when she found out about the pregnancy. It was a challenging period for her, and she felt like she didn't know what to do. It was kind of one of those moments where she thought about running away. Gisele revealed later in an interview that the birth of their child only made her and Tom closer. She loved the baby like it was her own, and she claimed that she couldn't imagine her life without them. She called him the bonus child who opened her heart in ways she didn't know could expand. In January 2009, Tom and Gisele got engaged after he proposed to her with a diamond solitaire ring. They got married 1 month later in an intimate ceremony at St. Monica Catholic Church in California. A few months later, they also had a lavish second ceremony at Gisele's Costa Rica home. Tom has won 7 Super Bowls in the nearly 16 years since they first met, and Gisele has appeared on the covers of more than 1,200 magazines. Quite a power couple, to say the least. When he first announced his retirement, he explained that his desire to spend more time with Gisele and his kids contributed to his decision. Gisele had been ready for Tom to retire for quite some time. However, barely 6 weeks after Tom first announced this retirement from the NFL, he changed his mind and decided to come back for his 23rd season, a decision that led to a lot of tension between the couple. This tension really manifested when Tom came back to football in 2022. Their marriage really started to experience problems after that. Gisele clearly wasn't too pleased with the way Tom handled his retirement and the fact that he came back to play at all. And after 2 children together, it seems like Tom and Gisele are now going their separate ways. As of October 2022, Gisele was reportedly done trying to make their marriage work. A source revealed that she did not believe that her marriage could be fixed. On October 28, 2022, both Tom and Gisele filed for divorce, and the court declared their marriage as dissolved and irretrievably broken on that same day. The couple still appears to get along somewhat, as Gisele commented with red heart emojis on 2 of Tom's Instagram posts after their divorce was granted. Now they are focused on their kids amid their breakup. Before Gisele, there were other ladies, so before we get into his children, let's talk about some of Brady's ex-girlfriends. In 2002, Tom Brady dated Layla Roberts, who was a Playboy playmate. In 1997, Layla was named Playmate of the Year. Although little is known about their relationship, it's also rumored that she dated actor Vin Diesel at roughly the same time that she dated Tom. Perhaps that might have led to their breakup. Can't really say for sure though. In 2002, the same year he dated Layla, it was rumored that Tom also dated American Pie actress Tara Reid. Meanwhile, in 2014, on Kyle and Jackie O's Breakfast Show on Australian radio, Tara talked openly about their relationship. She described Tom as a good-looking quarterback who she kissed, which kind of confirmed the rumors that they were together at some point. Tom Brady started dating actress Bridget Moynahan in early 2004 after he won his second Super Bowl for the New England Patriots, and Bridget starred on the hit show Sex and the City. The two ended their relationship in December 2006, but 3 months later, Bridget made it known that she was carrying Tom's baby, as we said. At the time, Tom had already started dating Gisele Bündchen. In a past interview, Bridget discussed the challenging pregnancy she had with Tom's child and how it had an impact on her mental health. According to her, going through that traumatic time of being heartbroken and then being pregnant turned her whole life upside down and inside out. She claimed it knocked the wind out of her, but she got the best thing in the world, which was her child, John. And as expected, Tom did take full responsibility for the child. The beginning of John's life must have been a little complicated, don't you think? Being Tom's only son with his ex-girlfriend, John has also accumulated the status of a child celebrity due to his father's many accolades. Having led an illustrious life to date, John is in split custody between his dad and his mom, but he has also developed a very close relationship with his stepmother, Gisele. It should come as no surprise that John wants to be an athlete, given that he is surrounded by the greatest football player in sports history. He and Tom Brady love football, and his father refers to him as his good luck charm. In addition to being recognized as a look-alike, he appears to have inherited both his father's passion and an IQ that matches it. His mother Bridget even confirmed this by pointing out that John had made it clear that he wanted to be a professional athlete. Tom, who constantly gives him praise, also accepts this wholeheartedly. John enjoys his father's games all the time despite not always living with him. It feels special to Tom knowing that John and his other kids watch him on TV. He also claims that John has a unique perspective when watching his games and doesn't watch like the ordinary audience would. He is a natural-born athlete and has played several sports, including football, which football seems to be his priority as of late. And now that John is in high school, he is following in his dad's footsteps and playing the same position on his school's football team. In October 2022, Tom said on a podcast that he loved watching John play quarterback because there were very few other things he could probably help him with in life. Together, the two also like to play other sports like golf. In October 2021, Tom posted a picture of his son playing golf on Instagram in honor of John turning 14 years old. He acknowledged in October 2022 that while he is happy to support any of his children's goals, it has been especially exciting to watch his son play the sport that he enjoys most. As a child, John developed interests in other activities, so Tom Brady never imagined his son would actually follow in his football footsteps. Benjamin, John's younger sibling, was born on December 8th, 2009, 2 years after John, and the boys have maintained a close relationship ever since. On December 5th, 2012, John became a big brother for the second time when his sister Vivian Brady was born. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's actually go into more detail about both of them. Benjamin is reportedly known as a jester in his household, entertaining everyone with his funny dance moves. He enjoys cheering for his dad during his games, and he's always been seen dabbing when his father scores. Vivian, on the other hand, is the youngest of her hotshot parents, and she frequently goes to sporting events with her father and enjoys supporting him in the stands. She also frequently appears donning Tom's football jerseys, a near exact replica of her mother. She may just become the next supermodel one day. Enjoyed this family video? Hey, then check out our other videos and make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.